Marc did not first start off in cosmetics. He is an American fashion designer, so he started off in fashion. He went to school in New York, and his first accomplishments where people started to really notice and where his career started to take off is making hand knit sweaters with his grandmother. Now, back in the late 80s to mid 90s, a way to, I would say, make or break a fashion designer would be having the top supermodels of that time walk your show. But their fees were, of course, very high. But Marc Jacobs, his friends were Linda Evangelista and Naomi Campbell. I mean, Claudia Schiffer, Helena Christensen, Karen Mulder, they all walked his show. And Linda and Naomi actually walked his show in April 1994 for free. And that helped skyrocket his career and his fame. So he got noticed by Louis Vuitton, and he started to design for the fashion house. In January 1997, Marc was hired by Louis Vuitton to be their head designer, in which he actually quadrupled their profits. And he stayed with the company for 16 years. So he has a very long history with Louis Vuitton. He started off in 1993, of course, with his own label. He had one store. He grew it from, of course, one store to 20 stores to 60 countries with over $1 billion in sales. So to him, he wanted to explore more options. And in October of 2013, he decided to leave Louis Vuitton and explore other options within the cosmetic industry. Shortly after leaving Louis Vuitton, and Marc is deciding as far as, well, how is my cosmetic brand going to be different? How can I make a brand that is still true to me? Because there's one thing that I always admire about Marc is he is still very much true to himself, and you see it in his designs. You see it in his mannerisms. You see it in his work. So when he's thinking of his cosmetic branding, down to the packaging, down to the lettering, as far as the font, his vision is, I want to make shiny, beautiful products that every woman would want to hold and feel lovely. I did find the actual statement that came into the whole packaging, everything encompassing his brand from the start. So I want to read that passage to you. It states that the result is a line of beautiful fluid shapes and a high shine inky black lacquer finish. The sensual complex curves of the products and unexpected proportions result in a collection that is both simple and timeless, yet thoroughly modern. Every detail was meticulously considered, from the ultra-thin frame around mirrors to the layout of the makeup, or even the oversized buttons. That was Marc's vision as far as his cosmetic brand, and of course the packaging, his image that he wants to project to his customers. The same year in 2013, when the actual cosmetics were first presented to Sephora, same as with Fenty, I came to Sephora to look at his products, and I did gravitate first towards the foundation. I knew that I wanted to try the complexion products first. The first foundation that was introduced to us for customers to purchase was called the Genius Foundation, and there was 16 shades. I unfortunately was not matched to a shade. I can't even remember why at that time. I don't even remember if there was even a Sephora reader. I really don't remember as far as a color IQ, but I remember that I could not get my match and I wasn't interested in mixing and so forth. The next foundation launch was in 2015, and the foundation was called the Remarkable Foundation. With that foundation launch, there were 22 shades, but only 3 that could be used on darker skin. I did see that. Again, I said, I'm not going to try it. And I didn't. I didn't even get a sample. Fast forward to February 2018, and we now have the Shameless Foundation. Now, this is a foundation that has 29 shades in the lineup, and it's supposed to be 29 shades that is going to what I would say kind of disperse throughout the color spectrum. So you have very pale skin, and it's going to help mimic and mold to various undertones, various skin tones, and then it goes down to the very deep dark shades. Now, he named the foundation Shameless to match his shameless tattoo. I have another statement from Marc in reference to the Shameless Foundation I want to quickly read to you. This foundation is a daily reminder to show your true colors and never apologize for being you. The idea of shameless and showing your true colors is being who you are. You're unapologetic and you're proud. One of the most important characteristics in terms of a contemporary youthful look is not that heavy sort of makeup, but something that's fresh and breathes and allows radiance and the texture of the skin to come through. So after reading that, I feel that that gives the customer a very good indication of what this foundation is supposed to be. Not so much in reference to be you and be unapologetic, but more so as far as how the finish and how it's going to appear on your skin. The Shameless Foundation is marketed for all skin types. So all skin types, dry, very dry, normal, combo, and of course oily, very oily. It retails for $46 and is 1.08 fluid ounces. And I matched under my color ID to the correct shade then, which is tan Y480. So that is the shade that matches me perfectly and what I have on in this video. First, I want to talk about the packaging. I like the packaging. I like that it is a squeezy tube, so it kind of controls how much of the foundation comes through. I can see the color through the bottle. I can see when I'm almost going to be done with it. That I like. However, the shape of the bottle, I started to, in my mind, I'm thinking, is that really 1.08 fluid ounces? I mean, we're so used to seeing a bottle. Like, I'm going to hold this one up because I'm going to talk about it with it. We're used to seeing a bottle like this. It just, I immediately looked at it and started to think how I'm not, it looks like I'm not getting a lot of foundation in it. That's the first thing I thought of. And of course I'm matching it up to the price because it's $46. So that is me. I'm for $46, I'm trying to look at it. I'm trying to think, I'm gonna pick you apart. I'm gonna start judging you and see, are you worth the price? So it's probably just going to be a design of the bottle I'm just going to have to get used to. It's not that alarming to me, but only because I'm thinking, am I getting a lot still in that bottle? And just didn't look like it. But I'm going to trust that even though it's, you know, it's like smushed in that size, 1.08 better be up in there is my point. The foundation has SPF 25 in it, which is, you know, no big deal. A lot of our foundation has SPF in it. But with this formula, they encapsulated it so that it will not turn gray or white on our skin. That's what I want to see. I want to see how it's mixed. I want to see how it's created so that way it will not turn. It will not turn, but still offer that protection to our skin. So I'm not a chemist, but I just find it fascinating. And so when you're looking at the ingredient list, I'm not certain how, you know, is it the silicone? Is it this? I don't know, but it's fascinating to me. And I appreciate that. So it's just something that I feel is a draw with this foundation. And it is something that is quite innovative that they did that. So I just wanted to point that out. Now also staying with the ingredients, staying with the whole texture of this foundation, the foundation has hydrating and plumping properties with other ingredients. Now it's not a major hydration, so I don't want oily skin people to be like, oh my goodness, it's going to look greasy on me. It's not like that. But I think it just encompasses that whole natural, fresh look that the brand is trying to, of course, market to us. If you read the directions on how to apply the foundation online, there is a shameless matching foundation brush. Apparently the brush is designed with the foundation in mind, like they're supposed to go together like twins. And for the best natural coverage and so forth, apply it with this brush. Now, I don't believe in that. Personally, I feel that it's just a marketing ploy to get me to purchase that additional item to go with that main item, the foundation that I want to purchase. Now the brush looks exactly like a flat foundation brush. So that's how I show it to you in the demonstration. I apply it with my own flat foundation brush and it went on fine. It's going to be a personal preference how you want to apply it as well as how you want to prep your skin. Myself, the first time using the foundation, I do not wear primer. I want to see how my skin oils are going to react to the foundation, if it will react, good or bad. And of course, the first time I used it, nothing happened. The foundation did not change in color. It did not cause any type of an allergic reaction, nothing. So I was quite pleased with that on day one. Then of course, I continued to wear the foundation. Even on day one, I would say the first thing I noticed is it does offer, I would say that we're talking light coverage going into medium. And just going right into the medium spectrum. And I liked it. And it wore the same on my skin from AM until I took it off at night. It looked beautiful. It did not look heavy on my skin because I have smooth skin texture, so I can immediately feel when something is on my skin. Didn't do that. Again, no allergic reaction, and I loved how it looked. It did not settle in smile lines. It did not cake up. It paired perfect with any of my powders. To be honest, most of the time, I didn't even set it with any powder. I didn't really need to. I can set it with my setting spray. I can just set it with the T-zone if I want to stop any type of shine breakthrough. But the foundation behaved each and every time I've worn it. Again, I mentioned that the foundation has 29 shades. But from my research, and this is what I wrote down, the brand has something that is a patented milling process. And with that process, it's supposed to produce superfine pigments that will result in the most natural looking, self-adjusting skin shade. So with that in mind, with the 29 shades, and I actually am not certain if they're going to be making more, that is where it's coming into kind of self-adjusting to your skin tone. So that's good, because it then states that the shade range, which is broader, was developed with artists and models worldwide to fit all skin tones and of course, again, all skin types. So it's a foundation now introduced in 2018 that is trying to be a little bit more inclusive and include a lot more skin tone. Every time I kept going into Sephora for whatever I needed to do, I stopped by, grabbed $4.80, and I got another sample because I finished one. I finished a whole sample. So then I grabbed another sample and I'm almost done with this one. And then I said to myself, I kept thinking about it. I kept thinking about it. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Am I pleased enough with this foundation to actually buy it full size? And yes, I bought it. I bought a full size. I also had a gift card and that helped cut the price in half. So I felt comfortable to spend, of course, the other amount. But it's a foundation I was happy with. And I think it looks beautiful on the skin. And it works with my skin needs and of course my skin tone as well. I like that it has the skincare benefits. I like that it has the hydration. I like, of course, the skin tone matching, and it just wears good all day. And if you watch a lot of my foundation reviews, I very much enjoy skin-like finish and that just healthy look, a little radiance on the skin. Now, to increase the coverage, this is where the BECCA foundation comes into play, why I have it here. I use the BECCA foundation. This is the Ultimate Coverage Complexion Cream. I mix this in with the Marc Jacobs when I want a little bit more coverage. Now I mix it in after I apply my first initial layer. I'll mix it in, and then with that mixture, because the Ultimate Coverage Cream has a lot more pigment and definitely a lot more coverage. And then I apply it, for example, on my dark spots and it covers it. So I still have that skin-like finish with the Marc Jacobs, with that higher increased coverage with the BECCA. Now, I've never used a BECCA foundation. So this was in my Octoly store. I was approved to receive it for free, test it out, you know, see how I like it. And I do like it. On its own, I thought it was heavy on its own, but I said, you know, it looks quite similar to the Marc shade. I'm in the shade Tobacco. If you're close in skin tone, it will match perfectly with 480. In a sense, use it as a concealer, but still, again, have the skin-like properties of the Marc Jacobs. Foundations are very personal. And some people have perfect skin, and some people don't have a lot of stuff to cover, and others do. So it is something that you are going to need to think about and think, is this going to offer me the coverage I want? Again, pull in maybe another higher pigment foundation. Is this going to offer the finish I want? Do I even like skin-like? Maybe I want it to appear very dull, like a little bit more thicker on my skin. So it is going to be a personal preference. But for me, you know me, skin-like, healthy skin, it is right up there with what I'm looking for. With that, dear friends, we are done. Thank you very much for spending time with me, stopping by. I always appreciate that. Please remember to like the video. It helps the channel. Subscribe if you are enjoying the content. Hit the notification bell so you can see me again. And have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful evening. And as always, I'm going to see you in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.